Today we're going to duke it out between two of the most popular RoboVacs. To my left we have the Eufy G20, which is a low range coming in at about $150. To my right we have the Shark, much more luxurious than this one, however still mid-range, and this one is called the AV2511AE. Unfortunately for the Eufy, this isn't a contest about which one has the easier name. This is a contest about which one makes life easier. And so originally I bought the Eufy because I never even considered spending $1,000 on a RoboVac. And so when I saw that this one was $150, I thought, that's doable. I can swallow that amount. And so I got it. It was pretty cool. It kind of helped out. The main thing that I got it for was I have two cats and I really need help keeping that litter box area clean. And it kind of worked a little bit, but I noticed that like it would clean a little bit of it and then it would just move on past and clean like the rest of the house, never even actually cleaning that entire area, and then it never even made it home. So it would just die somewhere in my house and I'd have to just go find it, leaving a lot of the areas that I wanted to be cleaned still dirty. So unfortunately this one did not meet the standards that I wanted. Not to mention it only has one brush. It's a three-headed brush. And I mean, maybe if it had two, it would do a better job, but with just the one, it often will like go by something and completely miss it because the brush is over here. The Shark, it has two brushes. Interestingly enough, it only has one head on it, but that's enough. And so even though this one has more brush heads, this one has more brushes, and so it's able to do more with less. It also has a bit more rugged wheels. You can see that the wheels are much bigger on this one than it is on this one, so it's able to really go through transitions from floor to floor with ease. It's actually able to make it through this room right here, which has exterior door transitions. Even though it was able to make it through, and you can see it did a really nice job on my rug, it was not able to make it back out. So I mean, that was kind of unfortunate, but it was still pretty cool it made it in. This one boasts that it has dynamic navigation, and so that's better than bump navigation, which is just to where it'll go in a straight line, bump into something, and then go off this way, bump into something. So that's a very random way, which is even worse than this, but still even the dynamic navigation wasn't enough. It left a lot to be desired. Whereas this guy has LiDAR mapping detection. So it actually uses lasers to map out the entire landscape and does so in a very efficient pattern. So I've found that this thing cleaned the entire house in half the time, and this one never even made it home and didn't clean the whole house. Whereas this one, if it gets tired before it cleans the whole house, it will go back to its docking station and it will charge up and then it will go back out. But this one, maybe it could do that if it would actually make it home, but it never did. This one also got stuck under the couch, as you can see here. It did that a couple times. That was enough for me to say this one is just not gonna make it. Whereas this one never got stuck under the couch. And one of the best things about it is it has a docking station. It's twice the price, but it is 10 times more convenient and intelligent, and it just does such a better job. So with this one, I've had to clean it out once and I've had it for a couple months. But with this one, you have to clean it out like after 1 or 2 uses, because this thing, that's just a charging. Like it doesn't have anything that will suck it up. So once this tiny little vacuum gets full, you have to clean it out yourself. So it's actually unclear whether this one thing makes life easier or not. I'm not really sure. However, this one is so much easier. And so if I don't want to hear this running, I can also use my smartphone to turn it on when I'm not here, and it will take care of the whole house without me even being here. Now, granted, it's really not that loud, but still, I mean, it'd take about an hour to clean the whole house. It's just better to not have to hear it. And so with this one, I wasn't able to get the smartphone app to even work. It wouldn't connect to my Wi-Fi. I tried a few times and it just wasn't working. So there was just one more thing, one more hassle on top of it. This one, I plugged it in, I turned it on, I pushed clean, it cleaned my entire house. I was good. Now the only reason I downloaded the app was because I wanted to spot clean something right next to my kitty litter box. And so I downloaded the app, turned it on, it connected to the Wi-Fi, no problem. Everything was a breeze. And then it takes one trip around the house to map the whole area. And then you can choose which room you want to ultra clean. And then it'll spend like 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, depending on how big it is, just cleaning that room. And then it'll go back. So that really helps for high traffic areas, such as a kitty litter box. So at the time I bought this, they said it was about a $600 RoboVac. I looked around, I did the camel, I checked it out, and sure enough, this one was going for around $500 at the time. But I got it on Black Friday, and so I was able to get it for $300 that day. So you might want to wait until then. You can get whatever RoboVac you get for a much better price, and it's legitimately worth getting a mid-range RoboVac. Now, if you wanted to get like $1,000 plus, it's gonna be a little bit better than this, but as far as the sweet spot between bang for your buck, I think the mid-range is really the best way to go. Granted, I don't own a luxurious $1,000 one, so I can't speak from wisdom, but just looking at a couple reviews, I feel confident that I'm not really missing out on too much with this one. So if your budget is $200, you might be happy with this one, but it was really, for me, it was just more of a headache than it was worth. Whereas with this one, I was blown away from the first day. It's intelligent, it's awesome, it's everything that I wanted in a RoboVac, and it just makes life easier. So if you want either of these, please follow the link in the description box below. That'll get you there a lot quicker, and I'll actually get compensated for doing this video. I hope this provided some useful info for you, and I bid you adieu. Your mustache.